I started with tarot readings. And first, people just want to know like the future. And I got really bored with that because with tarot, you got to be careful.
Basement. What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome to the Basement Hangout, coming to you from somewhere in American suburbia. My name is Chad, and with me, as always, is Bob.
And I just had the best smash burger of my life.
We did have good smash burgers. And for those who don't know, because we announced it at the end of the last Not Fake News episode, and some people may not have stuck around for that, we have a new channel. Go to YouTube and look for at TBH-grilling, or just search for the Basement Hangout Grilling Edition, and you can check it out and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Bob, I hate asking people to subscribe and like, but that's the world we live in these days. So,
like, it's the man overpowering, or
basically, it's the man Google overpowering us all.
Some people call Google God.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't.
Or the all-knowing, or the all-knowing.
That is correct. But anyway, let's move on to more important matters. Our guest tonight is Joanna. Joanna, I don't want to murder your last name, but I'm going to guess
it's
Pilatowicz.
Yes, Pilatowicz. That's right.
I would say no, Pilatowicz. You messed it up.
That's lovely said. Say that again, because that was lovely. Nobody ever called me that. It was beautiful.
Which one, mine or his?
Yours, the first one. I never heard something like that.
Pilatowicz.
Wow, I like it. I like it. I like it both now, so thank you.
Great. Let it be written. Her new name is Pilatowicz.
So, Joanna, I want to thank you for joining us, and I want to read your email. You reached out to us, which we always appreciate, and you said, would you be interested in the topic of decoding energy? The answer to that is yes. To bring back lost or trapped parts of our essence? The answer to that is yes. I am a Polish author and an abstract art painter, and for a few years, I have assisted people in decoding and bringing back lost part of selves. That sounds very interesting. I often use divination, working with ancestors, and triggering permanent memory, aka reincarnation. You are the author of the paranormal series, The Oracle, first published by American publisher, and now also to a Polish audience. You're a dancer, a dance teacher, an abstract painter, and you use these additional means to encourage the best in all of us. So that all sounds fantastic. And then lastly, the paranormal messages from mostly immortal beings, right down our alley, Bob, were put first into books, connecting them with your immigration experiences. Now, since we live in a more transparent timeline, can't wait to dive into what that means. I can talk about it more openly online.
I like it.
Very, very interesting. So if you wouldn't mind telling us, how did you come across the Basement Hangout?
Yeah. So basically what I do, I come across, our YouTube is not that bad because it gives us ideas. It inspires us at the same time. So that's how it happened. The similar topics just pop up and I say, okay, that's interesting. And you guys have this interesting vibe. First of all, thank you for inviting me. That's really nice because I wanted to talk to you about it because you're having this similar topics that I'm interested in. And you are also diving very deeply into it. So it's not a typical interview, but you give ideas. So you are also inspiring your audience to think deeper and question it. What if it's not true, What if
we talk about how deep we were, Bob?
We do dive deep, I know that. And we ask a lot of questions.
Yes, that is definitely true. We usually don't have answers.
That's okay. That's actually even better. That's like scientific approach almost.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the work that you do. And, we'll get into it, but like the entities, for example, that you mentioned.
Yeah. It's getting bigger and bigger, I think, because we all had this glimpses of something, that there is something not right with this world. There is something we keep on repeating. We learn about psychology. We went through all of that, but still we cannot make it right. And people go for therapy. They have years of therapy. So what's happening past years when I have more and more people coming to me actually I started with tarot readings. And first, people just want to know like the future. And I got really bored with that because with tarot, you got to be careful. First of all, if someone believes you, that's very dangerous. I prefer the people who didn't believe me, skeptics, because you take enormous responsibility for every word you're saying and you're planting ideas into their minds. So you are influencing their reality if you're not careful. And they believe you, so they're going to recreate that. It's self-fulfilling prophecy almost in a psychology, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So I specifically said I don't predict the future because it's very easy to predict future. If I read the cards, someone wants to get a job, for example, and I read in the cards that the lady will get a job, but she won't take it because her willingness is to stay home with kids. It's just the society imposed that on her, right? So we have another topic. So I only use divination to see where is the core problem of what's happening. Because people don't want to know what is awaiting. They want to change, actually. So that's how it started. And of course, I dream a lot. I have those visions from early childhood that I could not talk about it. So I started to write fiction. I wrote all these series of oracles, and all this is real. It happened. And sometimes, I mix the characters and everything so people don't recognize themselves. But it's true for me, but I don't want to impose that truth or on anybody else. So if someone resonates with it, that's great. And the greatest actually compliment when someone reads the book is, hey, I'm reading your book and I'm starting to remember my reincarnations. I think this is like the best compliment, that people can tap into their own journey, what they are going through. And they can get no pressure, inspiration, so they can take it with and how they want it. So it's not like a guide, do this, do that, because we have a lot of these books, what to do. Everybody needs a direction. Just go to the right, go to the left, you arrive, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not every path is for us. So we are also individuals. There's the saying, roads less traveled. Someone just want to take a different road and not going with the crowd, right?
Yes. So can you explain a little bit about what divination is for those of us who don't know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there is a part that you almost predict the future because, first of all, if someone comes and he doesn't have questions, but he has some problems, let's say problems, he calls it like that. So I read the basic energy pattern. I actually have my cards with me. If you like, later on, maybe we can
play. That would be nice.
For sure.
Yeah, that should be interesting. But I don't want to bring it first time because I'm going very deep and sometimes it's touching people. So you read the energy and then I tell the people, don't tell me anything, like nothing. And I'm reading and they just make notes or I'm recording it for them and they have then questions because it fits. But seriously, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just reading energy. So I'm reading, is it the relationships? Is it something, the patterns of something that is keep on repeating that may happen to them? And then they have a questions. Then we get to the core of what is going on. I don't do a reading because now is the part when we change, we decoding. So for example, a lady called me and she had a problem. She was going from one witch or reader to another. And they were saying that her child will be taken away, the police will come, and so on, so on, so on. She was really frightened. But of course, they wanted to make money. So they were telling, yeah, just call next week and we do the same reading. But there was no change. So my cards also told, my cards also told me those terrifying things. Sure, something in energy, but I say, you know what? I'm reading your fears. To pick on that, it's a huge thing, because if I wouldn't pick on that, I would just make it worse for her. So I stop the cards. We work with energy. We work with decoding, and that. I don't know, 5 minutes later, the cards were telling different story. None of it happened. It wasn't like that. None of it happened. She left the country. She went to another country. Everything ended perfectly. But it was just what we recreate, right? So that's what divination. You can read the patterns of the energy, what's coming, what's in the field for you, and also how you are going to react depending on your personality. So that's like in a nutshell how you can.
So are you considered a witch as well, or no?
That's what people call me. I heard this brusha, witch, psychic, channeler. I think it's just what people want to put you somewhere so they understand who you are. So, let's not stick to labels, like, is it like this, is it like that? Because we are all the same. We just develop our skills more and more. So whether you're magician or priestess, because we are everything. So in ancient Egypt, I had these glimpses, that's what Oracle series is about, that I was a priestess and I was doing like a very bad kind of magic in ancient Egypt. I was basically manipulating genetic code. Almost like making zombies. And these dreams were waking me up at night. It was like hitting me in my forehead. I was like seriously sweating, not understanding what the heck is happening, seeing those, zombies, white eyes, And normally when any one of you, because I'm going to invite you guys, I'm going to, also ask you too, how it is in your case. But if any one of you have those entities coming and telling you stories, they don't feel good, if you feel drained, you must ward them off, because they are just came for taking your energy. They live on the life force, and these are entities that we decoding recently, and we found them with my clients a lot of times. They are disturbing the process very often. And they are standing also behind the karmic manipulation. Sorry to give you too many information, but I think it will be helpful.
Yeah, no problem.
Also for the audience. And don't believe me, test everything what I'm saying on yourself. But that personality that I was hearing, she was completely somebody different. So unless you don't have split of personality, like psychology calls that, right? And you don't switch from one to another, then you can know that something is there. And if this information that you get from those entities that are visiting you, night, date, whatever day, if you feel more empowered, if you know how to act in the world, it's practical. I took it as a good sign, so I started to write it down, right? So that's how it is. That's how I navigated through it and started to differentiate who's coming, because along the years it was like a crowd of different entities, right? Yeah.
And so now, where do these entities come from?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I never asked that question myself.
But they're all dead people, or?
Also, yeah, because basically if you walk somewhere and you are natural medium channeler or something, and there is some entity, just ghost that died, is going to talk to you because it's trying to get access, maybe help. And I have a number of experience with those. So for example, if I go somewhere for the first time and there is some stuck soul in the house, it's probably going to come to me at night. I was once in that was Valencia, and there was a little boy looking like he died in bombing during the Second War, and he was just, knocking my head all night, not all night long, because I woke up and I made a little prayer for him, and the next day he was gone.
So where did he go, you think? Heaven or?
Yeah, I never checked because there's so much I never checked, but the most vivid experience I had with my cousin, that he died in a car accident. We were 20 years old, so it was very, very, he was very young. It was very sudden. It was cruel. And he was coming to me for a year. And that's what people say, what other people more or less saying, that if soul is in the transition, the first year is very crucial for the soul. So he was actually taking me on the journey, like in between dimensions. And he was telling me like, hey, here is the secret passing. If you want to travel, you can do this. But you're not going to enter certain realms, because that only when the people who are, no longer coming back, they're going there. And then, of course, he came to me to say goodbye for the last time, and I felt it. So I grabbed him, and I didn't want to let him go. And there was a light that just hit me so hard that I woke up like that. And I was like totally crying. So there was some intervention. Obviously, there was some intervention. Where are the souls going? We have so many stories. I can only tell from my experiences. Of course, I'm hearing those stories of other people. And even recently, first of all, the good story is that usually I see that they go into some sort of education, transition, and they pick another lifetime. So whether they stay on the other side, they go for, let's call it university, because I was looking for my cousin. So at night, I was fishing for him. So I arrived to that university, but they didn't let me in. There was like a huge city. It was very beautiful. And I say, hey, I want to meet him. Where is he? And they didn't let me in. Say, you don't have access here. So
you did that. What is Preston called?
Astro traveling.
You did astral traveling?
I can't really say that because it happens so naturally, but that's what people call it. But if you are, because there are different types of, if you're talking of leaving this plasma body when you sleep, so that started to happen. It was uncomfortable for me. Personally, for me, it's not cool because it feels like your body is separating from the body. So I got up, my hands were transparent, and my body was laying down, right? So if you continue, you can leave. You can leave for a while, you can travel. But the nicest one, what I do like, when it's happening naturally, so you already left your body. And if you already left your body, you're traveling, you're feeling free, you're feeling very energetic. And this kind, that is really nice.
So do you have any insight into what all of this is? Where are we? What are we doing? What's the nature of, or is that still a mystery? Right? Because we're always debating religion, God, our place in the universe, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, I'm testing all these theories, just as you guys. I do not have, if I would tell you like, yeah, I know it for sure, I think the best what you could do is never believe me, because that's the most dangerous thing. If someone tells you that he knows for sure, then probably he doesn't know.
So you may not know for sure, but do you have a working theory that you're
I do.
towards? And what is that?
I do. At the moment, when I'm encountering two opposite sides, because yes, it's true that we do have some sort of protection. It's true that some souls are having very quick passing and they are happy right after passing, because I also had those dreams, like someone died and within a few days came to me and say, do not call me, wish me well, be happy for me, because that, if you're sad for me, I cannot go. So don't call me anymore. I'm happy. And that went very fast. But a lot of people were praying for that person. It was my dancing partner. Very, very lovely soul. And
they died?
So, yeah, he died. He died of cancer. And we worked for a long time. We worked for a very long time. I didn't do what I'm doing right now. So we were working sort of process-oriented psychology, doing shamanistic shape-shifting. So we were playing with this idea like cancer is the entity with the message, and we were switching the roles. So he was becoming the cancer. He had an edge on that. He didn't want to. So I was becoming that for him and feeling what kind of energy that is. What was the reason? What can be done about it, right? But it's a very good work. I still follow principles of process-oriented psychology. But now I discover we can do it quicker by using certain words, codes. It's like a lot of those programs already saying that words are spells, right? So basically, if we find, the trick is to find the right word that coded us in a very bad way. And if you find that proper word, it takes you several seconds to decode it. This is like amazing. And if you know that you're doing that, because people that moment, they have those amazing feelings, sensations in their body. So their body changes. Something is, this luggage is gone, just because they said to themselves with intention the right kind of words, the right code. So that's a little bit faster.
So do you have an example of such a code that you can say?
Yes. So for example, today I'm all the way in Brazil, and my friend called me. And she's in love, and she should not be, because she has husband.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm,
yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the heart wants what the heart wants, they say, right?
Yeah, it's such a complex thing, because I also work with those relationships. So when we fall in love, we very often are falling falling or are gravitating towards ideas about something that we don't think we have or we didn't develop within us. And this is something like long time ago, Greg Braden was talking about 7 mirrors of relationships. And it is very crucial one. So I asked her first, like, give me the first thing when you think about that man. Who is he? What is he having that you think you don't have? And she said, he's so courageous and so light. Like, he has this lightness in life, and he's so courageous. So, and she was really desperate because she really loves her husband. So I said, okay, just breathe and just talk after me, because to find a code, I'm starting to talk, I'm following this, and then the person is repeating that after me. I'm tapping into it. And I said something, as far as I remember, because it's very spontaneous when you're tapping in those things. It's almost like you're in a half, not really trance, but, the feeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said something like, I never had that in my life. I was never courageous. Like you admitting it in front of yourself. You have this acknowledgement, like you see the energy, you meet the energy, you're facing it, you're not running away, right? So it was so heavy in my life. It was so difficult. You have to see that. And now I'm seeing that I am that. So from now on, it's finished. And it's very important to say, like, put the kind of limitation. So it's basically, I'm giving you a recipe, because so someone can do that right now. And that's the best way for me. The best clients are the clients that they don't need you anymore, right?
So if I understood correctly, you're basically giving her the idea that the reason she was infatuated with this person is because of his courageousness, because she didn't think she herself was courageous in the past.
But the idea was coming from her, is the theory.
Yeah.
Right?
So by giving her this information, she can not just glom onto somebody because of her own past issue? Is that basically what I'm hearing?
It's when you bring it to reality, bring it to the light, like, what is it? Like, she didn't. I think yes, because when you bring it to the light, like, okay, you think you don't have it. You didn't leave consciously that qualities, because we do have everything within us. We just don't pay attention. It's like unused muscle. So we trigger it. So it's going to start working for her benefit. So she can tap into those qualities. And if you do the right words, she's saying it, and then she starts to feel. And I immediately heard in her voice has changed. So I say, okay, we are on the good path here. But in a process-oriented psychology, you could play a little bit more here, because this conversation was very short. She felt happier and she continued with her life. So I'm glad. But if we have, like, process-oriented psychology, what you can do, you switch the role. So if there's someone you are attracted to enormously and you don't want to, or, you have a situation in life, the best thing that you can do is not to run away, because it will hunt you. It will follow you, because this quality is actually searching for you to make you richer within you. That's why we have that encounters with people. So you can become that person. So you can walk like this. You study it like a being an actor. You walk like that person, talk like that person, behave. So you're bringing that energy within yourself. So you're starting to feel more courageous, more light. And then when you're doing it consciously, you are integrating it already within yourself. So it's lessening. That's not the whole recipe. So anyone who's hearing us right now, it works, but I can tell you this: if you're dealing with this twin flames, if you're dealing with karmic connections that are very strong, it may not work, because it's so much stronger. Those bounds that we're having, they're very strong, some of them. Some, it's enough. You just do that, and people can, like, within seconds, fall out of love, right?
So is that what happened to her based on this discussion? She's back with her husband. She broke off this other relationship.
She just called me today. Okay. And normally I say to people to take 2 weeks time to see what shifted in the energy, and let me know. Within 2 weeks, you should pay attention to what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. So now, do you make your living doing this kind of work primarily? Is this your...
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Actually, more and more, yes. And my YouTube, the nice time was when my YouTube was monetized, because recently...
It's not anymore?
No, it's not monetized anymore, because I don't know what really happened, but they shut down a lot of channels, and a lot of channels lost monetization. So...
They didn't give you a reason?
And this is another thing. I made a whole videos about it in Polish language, then English language. And that's the thing that I'm thinking we take it to another level, because you ask me, where are we now? Where we are, I will not curse here, but in a sense, we're doing a lot of good work. But in another way, corporations and someone that we don't know who these people are, using artificial intelligence, using algorithms, they absolutely empower how your life will look like, how you're going to make your money if you are going to YouTube, if you are using YouTube. And because a lot of people using YouTube, they don't want to have another, channel somewhere else. They use that. So they can do anything. They did not give me any reason. So I could not improve anything, because what they said is very general, that the advertisers are not happy with my videos. My videos had enormous, exposures for that channel. I had maybe, at the beginning, I had maybe 3,000 subscribers only, but I had views for 50,000. And so advertisers will be very happy. It's obvious, right? But they don't give you reason, and they say fix it, and then, reapply again. But if
Now,
you don't know what to fix it, you cannot do that.
Was this the Polish language channel?
It's a Polish
Okay.
and English together.
It's both. Okay. So I did look at your YouTube channel, and everything that I watched was in Polish. And
oh no, there is a playlist in English.
Oh, okay. I'll go back and watch that. So, but did you talk about anything that could be considered controversial? For example, the biggest example, obviously, in current times would be something like anti-COVID conspiracy, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Of course, we talked about it.
That's what did it then.
That could be why, maybe.
But we knew. We learn, Polish people, we also learn very quickly. So we knew what words you're not supposed to use, how to switch, how to give people, how to let know, because artificial intelligence won't pick it up. So you cannot say certain words, but also we follow the guidelines. So for example, I never said to people, take it or don't take it. I never said any of those. None of my guests. We were just, asking questions, talking about it, repeating our opinion, And also, we never said that what are we doing, taking or not taking, but like reporting, like, hey, this is what happened. So people, for example, were calling me and they were telling me, hey, this guy took it and within 3 weeks he was gone, is dead, nobody knows what happened. And I had like really a lot of emails. So I was telling people what happened. And at the same time, I was very careful. So I don't think I had dreams.
Can you start a new channel?
Yeah, I have another one Polish and one English, when I'm more in English, inspiring people with dance. And also English, and one Polish. So now it's a little bit separated. Yeah. And that's why you mentioned at the beginning to ask people to subscribe. Yeah, it's very important because it's not like a marketing, hey, subscribe to my channel so I have more views. It's like, that's the only way I can reach you. If you mark that bell, you get a notification because maybe you would like to hear about it, right? So it's more with that intention, because seriously, if a lot of channels are just gone, you need to reach people, and they want to know from you. They want to know how you're doing, what's happening. You're bringing them information. They are actually benefiting from it.
Yeah,
their life is changing. So it is important. So I'm posting every now and then too. Like, you can find me here in case something happened. I'm here in case something happened. That's my website.
But also, even on a very just basic level, we have people that enjoy what we do. But it's something's, got to pay for it. And we started a new YouTube channel and we can't monetize it because it's brand new, right?
Yeah, not yet. I get it.
You have to start all over, and you can't monetize it till you have 1,000 subscribers. And I hate
even worse. Now you have, I forget how many hours, but
5,000 hours
of watching. 1,000.
5,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And you can't monetize until you have that. And I hate begging people, subscribe and like. Nothing makes I feel like a beggar on the street.
Okay, let's change that. Let's work with that.
Okay. But I mean, if you want to continue hearing the content that you're enjoying, you have to be able to give the people the ability to monetize, because you can't live in this world if you don't have a way to pay for the camera and the computer and the this and the that. You know what I mean? It's just basic necessity. Yes. But what other mediums are there? Unless you just want to watch the regular news like we used to in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. If I could ask you, I hear the dogs in the background. So you're in Brazil. You're normally in Poland. So why is it that you're visiting Brazil for a couple of weeks?
I am in Germany. I live in Germany.
Okay.
I am visiting Poland. And now I'm visiting Brazil.
No, I was just curious because you were going to come on last week, actually, and then the power went out.
Yeah.
And you were saying, unfortunately, I've heard everything I've heard. Brazil, this happens. Are you like, are those dogs in like apartments next to you, or not that it matters?
Yeah.
I'm just
They are
curious.
in the background. They are so sorry about it because I cannot.
No,
do
it doesn't
anything
matter.
They want to come feel their energy.
I'm just curious because I've never been to Brazil. You know, I've never been in the third world.
Your dog's barged in, so I know dogs are attracted.
Exactly. Dogs are attracted to you, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like. Actually, yeah, I have a full history with dogs now. That's not a joke, you know. Anytime I was feeling sad all over the world, like, you know, my first immigration to the Netherlands, and I was feeling like sad or something bad happened. I don't know what to do. And I sat down on the bench, like really desperate, like, what now? It was always these dogs approaching me, you know, and want me to, you know, stay with them for a while. You know, it's crazy, but it happens so often. That is, apparently the cats too.
So could that be like reincarnated souls into cats or dogs, like angels a little bit, or?
That's what people saying, and I believe, I don't know for sure, but this is my belief, that everything is for a reason. So even sometimes I'm thinking like the animals are choosing us. Like if that was your dog, probably Bob, right? That was your dog.
That was my dog,
you.
Chad.
That was Chad. Yeah. Okay. So he chose you probably also for some, you know, experience.
So do you think like babies choose their parents?
I believe that too, that there is a certain connections too between parents. Also, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we have that choice. But what I discovered that it could be, in fact, some sort of manipulation of karma. I wrote about it in my books, but when I was writing about it and channeling, I say, okay, that's a nice fantasy, but let me write it, whatever. But since I dive, you know, more into that and those regression sessions, I cooperate with another hypnotherapist. So we had like really like, very crazy session when I was telling things about quantum physics. I don't know quantum physics that much, so it was crazy. And basically the informations were that we are as souls, not really, you know, part of our souls, our personality, like we are reincarnating, and we are a little bit downgraded instead of being upgraded. I'm watching this all over again, and that's my theory. I'm getting into that. That anytime I have a client or I investigate my reincarnation or someone else, these are powerful beings. So you guys were probably magician, you were working with energies, with elements, you were talking to, you know, stones, whatever, the priestess, everybody had magic, powerful beings. Ancient Mesopotamia, lots of magic, lots of power. Even recently, I don't remember what was the year, but even Pope, to a certain age in history, they were using astrology officially in tarot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this was common knowledge. This was real. Magic was real. Healing was real. People were living longer. If the Bible tells the truth, you know, everything is upside down. And then we have such a progress, such a, you know, evolution, and we live shorter. We don't have powers. People dying of some sort of weird sicknesses, right? It's getting worse. So, and what I also notice, we are drawn to the same situations over and over, and we have like the same unfinished business. So it's not like if you were a king, you're going to be poor, then no, if you were poor, you're always going to be a poor. And it's going to be said to you like, oh, maybe next lifetime. So I had a client recently, and she was like a priestess. And in that time, maybe it was Sumeria, maybe, you know, it was very exotic. She met a man, she fell in love, and she was bounded to him so strong, like she depended on him. It was strong attachment, and the man obviously did with her whatever he wanted to. right now she doesn't have her powers, but the situation repeats. Some 3,000 years later, she's in the same situation and probably was in her lifetimes again and again. So it's like, that's what's weird. That's what I've noticed what's weird. Like, you cannot really, because you don't remember, so you cannot really finish the process. From one side, it's good because you are tabula rasa, so you're not immortal, so you can have your new experience, but at the same time, they look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
I always thought I've been through a bunch of different life cycles, like from a bug to like super poor. I was rich at one time.
You thought that for a reason or just because?
No, I just always felt it deep down.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Interesting.
Okay.
So those who have like empathy, I feel like someone who has empathy, they're like, oh, they can put themselves in someone else's shoes who are in a different situation, maybe worse, maybe better. But that's why I always thought that. I thought. Do
you have empathy?
I think I'm an empath. I'm feeling you're very scared right now, like a little girl. But that's just, I always brainstormed about it because I don't know, always asking questions.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love to think I die. Like if I had a heart attack right now, and then like you're saying maybe a year or whatever, but 6 hours later I'm born again. Like Bob's back as a baby. Yeah,
maybe on the other side of the world.
Or yeah, wherever. I don't know.
You'll miss the basement.
Your wife is pregnant. If I died the next day, you found out.
Welcome, son. Let's learn how to play shuffleboard.
Yeah. His name is Bob.
So shall we do some tarot readings?
Yeah. Can you read Donnie's tarot card?
I think that would be awesome.
Cards.
Oh, Danny, if you want.
Donnie or one of us.
You have to give me one
Donnie
because
would be
I wasn't totally prepared for that. I have to search my cards where they are. Let me, if you don't mind.
No, take a break. Chad has to pee.
Yeah, we can take a break.
Let me get my cards.
Donnie, you good?
Donnie's ready. Donnie, would you like to?
Yeah, we good. Make Donnie bigger. There we are.
There's Donnie.
Donnie, do you have any specific question?
I don't know.
You got to turn your mic on, I think.
Yes, we don't hear you.
Oh,
the first question is, how do I turn my mic on?
So do you have anything you want to search for, or are you like looking for anything in your life that maybe the tarot cards would give you, or like, or you just want to hear what happens? That's what her question was, right?
I don't know if I'm necessarily searching for anything. So maybe just like, guess what happens.
You got to be searching for something, dude.
I mean, Donnie's a happy guy. He loves what he has.
Yeah.
I know, but there's got to be something.
I don't know for sure. I'm pretty terrible.
Maybe the cards can tell us what he's searching for because
maybe.
he's so reticent to tell us.
Okay, I need to tell you one thing. If someone doesn't know what he wants, the cards will exactly reflect that energy.
Interesting.
Well, let's see if it happens.
But I have a feeling that he does know what he wants. He's just being shy.
Will it then tell us still, or do you have to say it out loud in words?
And I always ask cards if they want to talk.
See if they want to talk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They will talk. They will talk.
Okay. Oh, very nice.
Yes.
How do they tell you that? Like, what is it you see?
The energy.
It's something you feel, or
it takes me a moment to adjust the energy with a person that is right there in front of me. So Danny, and you are also sending, like, if you want to know something, you're also sending your intention. And this is like a cooperation. This is not like, I'm reading someone. I'm not interfering. So if you don't want me to know anything, the cards won't tell me. So don't worry about it. Yes.
So be open mentally, Donnie.
I'm always
open. Yeah, exactly. So because it takes two to dance, it takes two to tango, it takes two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes 3 to tango.
All right. You tell us, what's next.
Donnie, take your shirt off.
Many beer bellies.
This is what I really like, guys, about you, because without sense of humor, we all would be very lost in this life. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So true.
Yeah. So Danny, what is in your life right now? I can see. Let's see the general reading, so you guys will know, and maybe you will have some questions later on.
So how many tarot cards are there in a deck?
Oh my God, I never remember. You know,
Is it 52 like a normal like card
I
deck?
never
or what?
remember how many cards. It's so crazy. I never know.
It's okay.
How many. Let me see. Is it written here?
I don't want to interrupt the reading. I'm sorry.
You've
Never
already
mind. Never
interrupted.
mind.
But you know what? No, it's 67. I really forgot. But I tell you something interesting about tarot card. I never wanted to read them, but another psychic told me, "Hey, tarot will talk to you," and I said, "No, I don't want to because it's too many cards. I stick with runes."
Okay.
And then I got a gift, and this is actually my gift. And since then, they are with me. And these, and they started to talk to me. I didn't have to read, but eventually I read, of course, what they mean. But I did
Very
not
cool.
have to read and study. They were just telling me stories. So I say, okay, if they want, if there is a corporation, is nice, right? Then let's see. So the very general reading, like pay attention that this is very general. So it can fit anyone almost, and the less questions you have, the more disperses energy, the less you're gonna know, the less you're gonna find out. But you had some good income of money, something is very basically for you very stable in your life. You have the stability. You are on the path to be more assertive in your life. So now there is a time for you that you are speaking what's in your mind, and you are telling that, because it looks like you had that problem in the past. There is someone, female power, that had enormous influence on you, and you couldn't quite be so assertive in your life because someone was taking over. So you couldn't do it really, but now you are doing that for yourself. So there was someone like I'm feeling a mother here, someone stronger. And so you didn't need that. You didn't need that extra power because things were done for you. But now you're developing additional skills. So you're very strong with stating what you really want. You are on this path. So you started. Sometimes, it's like a wheel of fortune. So you still may feel within yourself like you want to say something, but you are withdrawing. So it's like your main thing that is popping up right now in your life. And you could be a little bit more forward with your life considering your emotions. So you are hiding a lot. There is a lot of vulnerability about you, but you know how to hide it. So people don't see who you really are. You are hiding behind the scenes. Huh?
Who are you, Donnie?
Maybe I'm Dottie, maybe I'm not.
Yes. But you like it. It's a good thing because in a solitude of your whatever you're doing, you find happiness. You are connecting with yourself. You have this sort of peace of mind within yourself, and you like it. You like to work alone. You like to be, a little bit withdrawn, So that's a good thing. Sometimes your environment, because you don't talk too much, may think about you that maybe you are depressed or something, or you're just down or something, and you're just in your own world.
Very much in my own world.
Is that why you're always sitting behind the camera?
Yes.
So, and generally speaking, you looks like part of what you are here for in this lifetime is to manage and change your negative emotions. I'm using the word negative, but it's not really about that. Some difficult emotions, to master it, that you are actually guiding those emotions. So you are working a lot with element of water. The water is someone who is very sensitive in a positive sense, deeply feeling person, and is learning to navigate through some troubling emotions, not calling them negative, but learning how to transform them into something beautiful. And you're doing that. You're doing that through art.
I appreciate that, Donnie. Thank you.
And you're bringing that into reality. So that's amazing work you're doing in this lifetime. And it gives you prosperity. It is giving you rewards on many levels, and just keep whatever you're doing. General, any questions do you have for me?
Yeah,
So
what questions do you have?
I have a question. Was Donnie, can you tell what Donnie was like in his past life?
No, I don't think the card will say that, but I mean, I can try, but normally that's more like work we're doing when we look over
Donnie, Donnie, why don't you ask questions? I shouldn't interrupt. Sorry.
Did you?
Yeah, because look, if I wouldn't do cards, I could psychologically already read that you put Donnie forwards, like let us, put him forward. So
We love Donnie, you know?
We like him the way he is.
Yeah, we love him the way he is, and we accept him the way he is. We all have our faults.
Reserved and quiet.
But Dan, do you have any questions? Would you like to know something? Because basically we are online, but you guys are editing it so it can be cut out if you don't want to hear anything. I mean, if you don't want an audience hear anything, they're not going to.
We can always cut it.
Yeah. Especially with the dreams.
Do you have any questions?
Unless we do a private session, that's for later. You think about it. So, how was that for you? That
He
experience?
does have a question, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you mentioned the maybe like the woman figure, maybe sort of like what would you say, like bringing down, or not necessarily bringing down, but
Dominant.
yeah, dominant.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, there was a ex-wife that was that way. That was more of,
Dominant,
controlling, had to be
Yes.
her way, and that was just a whole sticky situation, the worst situation, and that not only, I guess, drained myself a huge bunch. I need to learn to stick closer to the mic. Drain that whole bunch, but it was also draining for like my immediate family and even
Finances.
definitely finances.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff. So that was like a huge, I guess, part of that.
How's she doing now? Do you know?
Oh, she lives near us.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to volunteer. Can we, let's, what do the cards say? I don't have any questions that I can think of, Bob, but can the cards?
Do you want like a regular reading? Because I'm gonna ask, do you want something for yourself, or do you want something for the world? We can play with that, but there's just one thing. I don't predict future, but
yes,
and it shifts. It shifts. So I think I did one time for a TV in Poland that reading, and it was basically recently that we're still under a lot of changes, and we have to be very specific, and time is not only speeding up, but it's faster in sense that we have to think faster to make a very concrete, precise decision in our life. Like we are forced to work differently at the moment. So I don't remember much, but I could do that. But also I can, if you like, we can, whatever questions you have.
So I can't think of any questions.
What about who's going to win the war, Russia, Ukraine?
Oh,
that's telling the future.
God. Well, what do you want? Do you want something? She asked.
Okay, we're playing now, and the cards are into that.
Okay.
And I can tell you this. Tarot is very tricky. So I'm showing you also how it works. It's very tricky because if you're going to ask a question, who's going to win the war? That's our perception that there is a war. Let's remember that.
Good point.
Someone is playing out there, Someone is playing out there with our minds. That's for sure, right? We don't know what's really going on. We are fed with a certain portion of information. So in a consensus reality, there is a war, right? We all agreed with that. We call it this way, right? But what that really is, we don't know, because it is probably a game. Probably, that's just my theory, that it could be a game that they're playing using people, as always, as energy and resources to win their whatever, to just have a game.
Right.
But let's ask this question: who's gonna Ukraine, Russia? It could be even more tricky, because what if they already, one part already sort of won on the paper? They already wrote a contract that we don't know about, right?
Good point.
So I would propose to go deeper into that and see what is the situation between, but we need to also specify whom, because if we take country, I was shape-shifting myself into Ukraine one time. And I felt, how I felt when I felt like Ukraine, like everyone wants a piece of me. I'm rich and everyone wants a piece of me. I'm just spread and torn apart.
Right. That makes sense.
Right. So if we're going to do that, am I doing a reading for a country, for a place, land, or between Putin?
Well,
right?
To be honest, Bob usurped my question. I want to know what the cards say about me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you want to do me first with Ukraine, that's fine.
Because they will be very generic. Let us try.
Yeah,
who's going to win the war?
The cards are telling us.
Russia, Ukraine. Will Russia win? Will Ukraine win? Okay. The Ukraine is a devil, so it's bounded. It's bounded, it cannot break free, and it won't break free. The Russians are not effective, but they are winning. But the Ukraine is winning something too. So there is between them, the bad feelings is obvious, and the fight is obvious. The cards are showing a lot of exhaustion of energy, and it's a fight for energy. It's on this another level of consciousness. It's not only about this, because it's a funny thing, because if I would have a pentacles here, it's a fight for a land, for pieces of the land, like I felt it. But I don't have that. I have flow of energy, because it's a Queen of Cups. How you say that? Let me.
Queen of Clubs.
Not cups. The other one. The sticks. How you say that in English? The sticks.
Spades. Hearts.
We call it buławy in Polish.
Diamonds.
Yes. And there is a lot with mental. So the swords are for mental things. So it's a power in mind. So a war in mind. And it's about emotions. So someone is feeding on it. And now we go really crazy, because we're going in a psychic world. It's like Russia is not interested in ending it.
They want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody says about the US, though.
So, it's not like it's gonna end.
Right.
It's not interested. It's like prolonged as much as possible, because Ukraine is stuck. It's in this difficult situation and is stuck there,
Yeah.
So it's far more complex than just who's gonna win, because in energy,
Nobody wins
there's
war.
no winning point at the moment.
Nobody wins in war.
Interested in continuing that, because it's what? It's the energy. It's not even about the money. It's something even more behind the money there. I don't know what, but it's something even more than money there.
Yes.
Okay, let's get Chad's reading.
That's what you get from tarot.
Can you get anything on me?
Okay.
Do you need me to ask a question, or can you
Yes,
just give
I'm
a
do
switching.
you have a
Every
question?
time when I'm doing reading, I'm switching, and the cards will tell you chat. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Let us give a moment so they can adjust to your energy. And do you want general, or you have a specific questions?
I don't have a specific question, but maybe after the general, maybe I will,
Right. Yeah.
depending on what it says.
So what about you?
Yes. What about Chad? Oh wow, they're saying a lot.
I know.
Yeah. Hold on
Very
one second.
interesting.
Okay. So you had some difficulties behind you, but obviously something is solved.
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling pretty good about yourself, you know? Sometimes you are in this female energy. It could be dangerous because you can be really in the female energy, which is like you are it's good because you are like in your possession, you can relax, you can do whatever you want. You are very much into love, so emotions are very important for you. But money are going a little bit like that with you. The
Up and down, up and
mental
down.
is up
That's
and down
definitely true.
with you. Yeah. But you have very good thinking patterns within your mind, and people generally perceive you as stronger with mind. Like you know what to say. But here,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I'm looking at that illusion. So basically, there is some charm within you. You can charm people. You can charm people sometimes to such a degree that if you do have depressive mood or something, you can cover it. Nobody will know. You can cover it very well. It can be dangerous from the point that you're not you need to really talk to someone if something is going on. But you can charm. You have this charm, natural charm, that you can joke. You can play a fool, because there's a fool one here, and fool is a positive because he jokes a lot. He gives this impression like he is enjoying life. Everything is, let's see what the life will bring, whatever. And there's some breakup, that if you went through some breakup, something that hurt you in your life, something that hurt your heart, basically, you know how to draw power from that. You're learning something about it. So it's like a work in progress because something is still going on. Yeah, that's generally speaking.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
Do you have a question?
Tell me what I'm
Do you have a question for the cards?
reading. Tell me what I'm reading.
Well, some of
Is
that
it
was
true?
right. I think some of
right.
that was right. I think some of it was maybe, if it's right, I'm not aware of it.
Sure.
Um,
you have to ask yourself those questions, and that's you to decide, not me. Yeah.
So I generally don't feel like there's a hurt on the inside that I don't let out. But I don't know if that just means I have a super strong mechanism to suppress it. So I have had like back issues in the past that I always thought were suppressed like feelings coming out, manifesting in physicality. But to this day, I don't know what was repressed because it's not incorporated. So I don't know the answer to that.
But do you have any questions?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you said the money's up and down, and I think that's most people in the world. But I can definitely align with that. So if I was to ask you, you can't tell the future though. right?
But you can ask any questions of the
I
card.
can, but what would be your question? I can, but you gotta be very careful, because if you don't like it, you can change it. Just to remember that you can always change it. What would you like to know?
So can I have the money situation not be up and down and just be up?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you can ask that question. Yeah. So what you
Good
do
question.
basically-
Good question.
Yeah, because in your case, it's different with money. Because yeah, sure, that's the most situations. It's very general that people have money, not having money. But you know, some people have a stable situation. They like continuously have a flow of money, and with you, you can have actually losses, and then you get something. Okay.
It's called taxes.
Yeah, totally. Once a year. They just doubled my
tax
real estate
advisor.
taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are touching on something energetic. There is some form, and this is something that the society imposed that. And most of the time society, but also parents. It's very often that it pops up when I'm seeing that is we have a lot of us patterns. So you also have a pattern, but everybody has a different. And the pattern is within you that you deeply believe in something. And this is what you mentioned before, like you don't know, maybe something hurt you, maybe not, maybe you learn something from it. That's for you to decide, not me. But this unconscious belief that you have is suppressing your money flow. So when I would work with you, I would dig into what is that, to find that and decode that, of course. Here, what I'm seeing from cards, what cards can tell me today, that is definitely mental. I mean, mental in the sense there is some coding, some thought form that someone implements. So your homework would be to go through your childhood and write it down, everything you heard about making money, how life is looking like. And that's how you're going to start decoding it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And this is actually what's hurting you. This is the thing that is actually hurt.
What is it? I don't know what it is. What was
The
that?
the money.
Oh, okay. All
This
right.
is how someone can get to you from money.
Okay.
That's
Who's
what's
someone?
The devil.
Who's someone? Like an entity?
Demonic entity.
No. It's not someone. This is like what you care for. What you care for.
Oh.
Like, you know, when you can get a little bit depressed or something.
Or...
Because you actually are good with yourself, generally speaking. You know, with yourself as a person, as a personality. You are okay with yourself, but this is something you cannot control it. So you don't have
I can't
full
control the county
here.
doubling my taxes.
Yeah, that's well, it means you have good property.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's still a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Yeah, but look how system tricked us into those, the whole, you know, taxation and everything, because I don't want to get into maybe too much, but
you don't even have to pay taxes. We had a guy on, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I wouldn't listen to honestly that guy.
the whole story, but it makes no sense, because if someone is very rich, you know, those people who are enormously rich, look at them. They usually don't pay any taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So why?
I put that out there just because money is money's kind of like always. I'm sure a lot of people who come to you, I would assume they go with money.
Well, the cards told us the money. We all have struggled with money, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but that's the thing. Like generally, I'm okay, but I don't want to be on the worrying about money thing. But everybody does.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one does.
Even the rich people worry about money. They need more and more and more and more.
Yes.
Greedy. Right.
Very true.
Yeah. There's a lot of people around the world that would say that we're rich, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You are rich,
Yes.
Chad. In love.
Yeah. But you know, it's how the society implements how we think about money. How much do we need? What do we really need? It's how the society implements that and what we are carrying through ancestors.
And what toys do we want?
All of them.
You know what? When I lost monetization on my channel, I started to think like, okay, is there anything in my ancestors' tree still? And how you work with that? You go through your ancestors' tree and feel the energy. So basically, just to give you an idea in a nutshell, I didn't feel anything wrong from my mom's side, my father's side, like nothing really drew my attention. I said, what the heck? And then all of a sudden, because you don't take into account like uncles, aunts, whatever, you don't do that. Because it's like, like it's too far away, but sometimes it may happen. And I'm standing there and like, I have no clue why the monetization. And all of a sudden, I hear the name of one of the uncles in my family. And I wrote a card and I just stood on that card, like, what happened? And I'm starting to feel like he was doing something shady with money. So it can also happen. Look how many reasons. Like, here is the pattern. Is your thinking what came first? But, to give you an idea to solve someone, because people coming also to me, but also someone's going to hear that. And they want sometimes quick solution, immediately solution. And that's why they don't pay attention if they go to charlatans because of the promise, right? Or they really want to solve it, what's really going on there. So, and we have a lot of those blockages. We have to find a reason. Where is it coming from first? And then see what can we do about it, right?
Yeah.
So decoding is easy. The energy will change within seconds. That's true. But if there is something in ancestor tree, you gotta find it first. That's where the trick is. And that's why I'm, of course, using the tarot here, because someone maybe worked a lot, and let's say you have everything is cleared with the way you think, you may like, I deserve, whatever, you have all this positive affirmation, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we are all connected, and ancestors tree, right? Someone did something shady there too. And it's like a boomerang.
So you're paying karmically.
Yeah. I don't like to say it karmically, but it's like the energy is there.
Yes.
Something happened, and this energy seeks
sticks with
the way out.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's very informative.
So
very interesting. Before we go, I want you to tell everybody how they can find you, your website, your YouTube channel, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead and do that.
Yes. Okay. So any information you can find about me on my website, joannapilatowicz.com. So I have sessions, I have workshops, we call it Stardust. And this is exactly about transforming. So I'm working with people energetically, and they have different wishes, like what we do now, what we do this once a week. I have a Polish group right now. So that's one of the way how to work on that. The other way is sessions. And also you find my store with my abstract art paintings. And these you can use as feng shui remedies. We didn't talk about it today. But I cooperate with another architect from Poland. She's a specialist on feng shui also. And a certain...
But you like the feng shui of our studio here. You said
I love it.
Earlier.
I love it. Yes, I have to support it one more time because it gives me this vibe. I actually thought we're gonna talk about aliens today, but life will take us.
Yeah, next time.
Next time. Yeah, it gives this vibe like being cozy. And you guys mentioned about something about your channel about the beer.
And
I don't drink beer,
yeah.
but I was on the beer tasting in Barcelona, and I made a video about it. Because what I noticed, every time I taste a different beer, guys, that I felt different quality. Like some of the beers give me like dignity. Some they were to open the tongue, talk more about something. It was amazing what I felt. I probably sampled like 70 beers.
Oh, wow.
And I made notes, and I made a video about it. It's on my channel. So my main channel is Joanna Pilatowicz, and the videos are also in a playlist in English language. If you would like to find out
So
more,
we will link to all that in our show notes
Yeah,
for those
this
of
will
us
be the
who have
best.
no chance
Yeah.
of spelling that based on what you're saying. We will have the link in the show notes for anybody who wants to check it out.
Definitely.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. And all the best to your audience, to your channel. And please, guys, give a comment to Chad and Bob and Donnie, because they are doing great work. And it would be pity to not reach out so many people. So we count on your comments, likes, bells, subscribes. Really, it's
absolutely.
helping us to connect with all of you, so we can discuss it and we can connect. You never know.
100%.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
We get an email every once in a while from somebody who's just like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you guys. You guys make me happy. I'm super entertained. I listen to you on the way to work or whatever. And honestly, that's what makes it all worth it.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It is.
Yeah. Cool.
So we'll do this again. Maybe we'll have somebody on the show. And did you see our DreamWorks session?
Yes, about the guy,
Daniel.
about the dreams. That also good to talk about it. I have a little bit different system, but it was interesting. I didn't hear everything. That was the time when I was hearing about electricity went down, so I halfway.
That's right. Okay,
No worries.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I will
Thank
let
you
you know when this is getting ready to be released, and we'll go from there.
Basement.